We're officially in the throes of Fashion Month, and so many things have happened already that I felt like it would be good to just talk about news, things that are going on in fashion right now. And I didn't really do anything fashion related last week, so here we are. Let's jump in. If this is your first time watching my channel, I'm Adriana, and I know what you're thinking. What makes you qualified to talk about fashion all the time? I do have a degree in fashion. I have worked in the fashion industry. I've done several things in the fashion industry. I've done freelance things and worked for major department stores. But let's move on. Let's just jump into the thick of things. Like I said, New York Fashion Week is in beginning. Copenhagen Fashion Week just ended. We're in the throes of Fashion Month. February is when most brands or most lines show their autumn winter collections. So, a lot of the trends that we're going to see throughout the industry for the next couple of seasons are popping up. Number one being kind of like a romantic, cool girl with an edge. So, we're seeing a lot of sheer lace dresses, lots of florals, lots of floral embellishments on dresses, elbow length gloves. So think like cottage core or Barbie core, but not pink. So if those pieces were emo Barbie, that's what we're going for. I'm just gonna say it's emo Barbie. So those pieces are popping up. Rotate always has pieces that showcase that trend. The same brands who pretty much always have that same vibe for their pieces. They have that trend going. Another trend that we're seeing down the runway is denim. My favorite trend that's showing right now is the grandfather chic. British Vogue called it that, not me. I just think it's like cool girl. Like it's like effortless. So think pea coats thrown over sweaters with jeans and maybe a mule at the bottom. Just giving very, I'm just throwing this on and go get a bagel, but make it cool. So also with that trend, we're seeing people throw on just fur coats with anything. And a lot of, I don't want to call it this, but the kids are calling it puddle jeans. To me, they just look like straight leg jeans that are baggy. They look like mom jeans, but baggier, slimmer on the waist or more fitted on the waist, but the bottom still kind of pooling at the bottom. So maybe like a bell bottom, but not belled. That's a good way to put it. I don't want to. I don't want to give merit to this mob wife aesthetic trend that's circling the block because we can get into that another time. Another trend that's showing a lot down the runway, or that showed in Copenhagen, and I'm sure it's going to show a lot in New York Fashion Week and London and Paris. Lots of patterned knits. So I know Laurel Piana has a set that's patterned. Jackie Aina had it on not too long ago. So I'm expecting to see a lot of that going forward, especially in New York Fashion Week and London Fashion Week. But it did show a lot in Copenhagen also. While we're talking about runways, let's just talk about Marc Jacobs' show. He showed his newest collection, and it kind of gave 60s mod pieces a little bit. Lots of straight skirts and dresses over tights, lots of furry sweaters, teased beehive wigs. It reminded me of the Moschino 2017 collection where they did those dolls, those what do you call those? You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. I'll show a picture or something right here. He did those dolls. It didn't look like it. Like the collection itself didn't look like it, but the vibe of it did. It kind of gave, I love a comparison. It kind of looked like that, but if that collection got married to an old rich man and tried to cosplay as a sophisticated lady, that's what this Marc Jacobs collection was. I thought it was cool. I didn't get the backdrop that they did for it or the actual runway that they presented it on. Maybe I'm just not, me and Mark, we aren't here with that. But the collection itself was kind of cool. The only thing I didn't like was the shoes. The shoes reminded me of SpongeBob, and
Oh, Gary! Well, I'll be. You can tie shoes.
I'm just gonna leave it at that. But I love Marc Jacobs. Marc Jacobs can do no wrong in my eyes, so I probably will get a couple of pieces from that collection. Yeah, the shoes. Mm, mm-mm. Oh, I did want to talk about the Montclair show. That show was fire. The backdrop was fire. The whole creative direction of the show was fire. The models looked good. The pieces were cool. Chef's kiss. I don't know if skiing is becoming more popular or if maybe I was too young and poor to notice before that people really do ski in the winter, but the clothing on the ski clothes have become very like trendy lately. The ski suits, the moon boots. I love Dior's ski wear every year, but this year or the past 2 years, it's been popping. I don't know what's going on. Now let's power through some bullet points. These are also things that happened in fashion this week. No need to harp on them. Let's just throw them out there. Keurig is pulling its pieces from Farfetch, which means that Saint Laurent, Balenciaga, Gucci are not going to be on Farfetch anymore. They're starting to phase them out in Q2. Farfetch is trying to counter that by not going to the brands directly for pieces, but partnering with smaller boutiques and getting the boutiques to upload their inventory onto Farfetch. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see what happens there. I smell a lawsuit because if the people didn't say it, they don't want you to sell their shit. I don't know. Don't sell it, please. Chanel won their lawsuit against What Goes Around Comes Around, and that lawsuit is old as hell. It's this tea is so damn cold, but they won. It was originally filed in 2018, where they claimed false advertising, trademark infringement, the sale of counterfeit products, just basically throwing the book at them about selling their shit. But really, let's just call things what they are and say that they're suing them because they want to stay elitist. Chanel does not want the common person to have access to their pieces. So they are saying it's unfair competition because people can just go to What Goes Around Comes Around and get the pieces and they don't have to buy directly from Chanel. They want to be special. They're in the whole boat with Hermes and wanting to, like I said, be elitist. But at any rate, they won. We'll see what this means for fashion. We'll see what this means as far as what pieces What Goes Around Comes Around can sell for Chanel and just in general. I don't think that they went out of their way to sell counterfeit pieces. I think that people just sold them counterfeit pieces and they didn't clock them. Now that's on them, but also it's completely fair for Chanel to sue them for it. Hermes is planning an 8% sales hike. Now, every year designers do sales hikes. I think it's so interesting. The other day, I found a receipt from when I bought my Burberry coat years ago. I want to say maybe 2017, 2018. I paid $550 for that coat. The style of the one that I have is discontinued. I think every few years they like come up with a different name. They tweak little things on the coat. It's the same damn coat. But now that coat is like $975. So price hikes are not new. It's something that happens every year. Sometimes brands do multiple sales hikes a year. But for Hermes to go up 8%, ooh, and I live in Texas where the sales tax is 8.25%. It's kind of ruining my plans. I had plans to buy an Hermes ear cuff this year. I need to buy that before it goes from $300 to whatever. I need a calculator. What's 8% of? Oh, we'll get back to that. Either way, I don't want to pay more than the $350 for it. So I need to go get that Hermes cuff. That's what I got from all of this. This has become a selfish update, but here we are. Hermes' fastest growing categories last year were ready to wear, fashion accessories, and homeware. So it makes sense. All three of those categories were up 25%, over 25% to LY for them last year. So it makes sense that they are. I keep trying to say that it makes sense for them to do this sales hike because the business mind in me knows that every year people are going to do sales hikes. But have you ever went into an Hermes store and actually looked at the prices? Like, why? Gap named Zach Posen as their new creative director. This is the same company that tried to do business with Kanye, so we'll see what happens here. But I do think it's a good fit. Zach Posen is an American designer. His house closed around 2019 because he couldn't find investors to keep it going. So I am glad that he has, found a new role and is still in the fashion industry in some way. I'm interested to see how that's gonna go or what he's gonna do for Gap. I, I'm thinking more like Zach Posen and Banana Republic. Now, Gap does own Banana Republic and Old Navy, so I'm sure he's creative director for it in its entirety. I'm not sure actually. We're almost done. Just a couple more things happened this week in fashion. Jay-Z and Versace announced a collaboration. Not sure what that's going to look like, but their first order of business is that Versace is sponsoring the Rock Nation 2024 Super Bowl situation. I don't watch sports ball of any kind. I call them all sports ball under one umbrella. So I don't know what it's going to look like for Versace and Rock Nation, but I do think it's interesting because Jay-Z just also did a collaboration with Montclair. So I don't know what's going on with Jay Z and Rock Nation and fashion lately, but I'm here for it. Get your paper, black man, I guess. Cameron is the model for the newest Kith campaign. I love Cameron. If you are a millennial around my age range, you probably love Dipset and Cameron. And I think it's cool. Who else has had more of a, well, that's not fair. I was going to say, who else has had more of an impact on fashion and hip hop than Cameron? But there are plenty of people who have, but not many people has had as big of an impact as that damn pink fur coat and hat situation. So Cameron was a good fit for Kith. Makes sense. Miu Miu signed a licensing deal with L'Oreal, which means they're about to get into the beauty industry. Now, when I think makeup, I don't necessarily think Miu Miu though, because all of their runways, all of the models have very bare looking faces. Maybe they're gonna do a lot of blush. They don't do much contour. Maybe it's gonna be skin and blush. They don't really wear a lot of eyeshadow on Miu Miu walkway. I mean, on Miu Miu runways. They don't really wear a lot of anything, lipstick or anything. So we're just gonna keep an eye on that. That's all you need to know for now. That's all we know for now. Miu Miu and L'Oreal signed a partnership deal. Margiela is rumored to have a collaboration coming with Supreme. This is literally just a rumor. Nothing's been officially announced. I'm curious what that would look like. When I think Margiela and Supreme together, I really think of Heron Preston or maybe Off White in its heyday. Not even Off White, maybe Pyrex. That's what I imagine a Supreme Margiela collab to look like. They probably should do MM6 and Supreme since MM6 is the lower price range of Margiela. But I guess we'll see. We'll see where that goes. Again, nothing's official. That's just a rumor collaboration that may come down the line. Taylor Russell for Loewe. Every time they have a new campaign, she just does it for me. It's always perfect and spectacular. She always kills that shit. But these pictures just deserved an announcement. This is not really news. I just like when Taylor Russell has a new Loewe campaign. So this was really just for me. I just want to be able to show the pictures of Taylor Russell for Loewe. This doesn't really matter because Nike is going to be Nike either way, but their sales are expected to only grow 1% this year. They're really doing bad for Nike standards, I suppose. A lot of it is coming from they just have more competitors now. Hoka is a better running shoe, to be honest. I would never be caught dead in Hokas, but the people love Hokas apparently. The people that actually care about working out in proper workout shoes, I work out in my Yeezys, so don't ask me. But their shares have been down 20% within the last year. So we'll see what Nike does. I'm sure they'll figure some way out of it. Again, it's Nike. I'm just reporting the news. That's the news. That's what's happening. Nike is doing piss poor. So that is it. That is all of the fashion news for the past week. Hope you enjoyed it. I had to rattle it off quick because I don't want to keep you long. I'm here for a good time, not a long time, okay? But thank you for joining me again. Make sure you come back to my channel. Maybe I'll do another roundup next week. Probably will because this was interesting to me. This is just something that I do anyway. Look at business of fashion all damn week and see what's happening. So this was easy peasy. But thanks for dropping by. See you next time. Subscribe to my channel.